Today, we're doing something a little different. Now, as you can see behind me, there is a car under that cover, but it is not my Evo, so let's go check it out. Now this is my mate's 1997 Toyota Supra, and it has some small problems that need rectifying. And I think I just found our reason, and I haven't even started to look yet. If you look at the bottom left-hand brown fuse, you can see that the whole casing has been crunched. Someone's tried to pull this out before. Let's get some pliers and pull that out and inspect it. Now, I was spot on with this fuse. If you can see the top there, but it is all corroded. There's oxidization on the actual fuse itself. This is actually the fuse for the passenger windows. We'll go and get another one and put it in. The first thing I wanted to tackle was the electrical side. So I installed a new set of OEM fusible links. Once they were fitted, it was time to see if anything got brought back to life. Still hasn't fixed it. Looks like I'm gonna have to do some more inspecting. Actually, just checked this, and what is actually happening is the door switch. It only goes down, well, if you play with it, you jiggle it a little bit, give it a little tease. Bingo! Not only was the fuse blown and corroded, but it's also going to need a new door switch, so we'll get one of those ordered for part 2 of this video. Now, I did get a little curious as to what exactly was going on with this passenger window switch. As you can see, there's no button sensation up in the top to put the window up. And then I went and found the connector, and someone's back probed it, damaged the wires previously by trying to test why it's not working. And then I found that the connector was broken. I pulled that out, and someone's had a fair old crack at this connector before. They've broken the surrounding casing. Definitely this switch is faulty, and we need to get a new connector terminal housing. We have to get the door skin off because the tilt is not in the right position. It's not sealing against the door frame properly. Let's go and get this door skin removed so then we can adjust the window tilt. To get to the window mechanism, I only had to remove a handful of screws holding the door trim in place. Once they were out, the whole door panel lifted off, giving us access to everything inside. Now that the door skin is off, here is your actual window tilt. I'm pretty sure you just adjust this screw on the back, and that will push the bottom of the window rail in or out. And then also one screw here and another one just in there, and then we can move our window back slightly so then it sits up flush against the seals. Let's go and adjust all that and close the door and see how we're looking. These bolts control the side-to-side position of the window, so by loosening them slightly, I could adjust the glass until it sat correctly inside the door frame. All right, we're already looking a heap better. That's more even, and it's sealing all the way around the top, straight down across. All that's left with this particular concern, I think, is to tilt the window. All tilting the window does is it brings this top bit in more, so then it sits up into the seal properly and seals nice and flush. Now that is much better, much cleaner. Sits up underneath that seal nice, and when you open the door, nice and flush and doesn't hit or rip off any of the trims like I was doing previously. With the window finally lined up properly, all that was left to do was refit the door trim and reinstall all of the screws. Now, the next thing on the list is that the AC does not come on. The light comes on, but it doesn't blow cold air. So what we're gonna do first is go into the fuses and check each and every one of them out. Let's go and check this problem out. 2JZ, no shit. Here is the fuse box, no shit. All right, if we have a close look here, all of these big relay fusible links are all corroded. So then we know 100% that the fuses are okay, and then we can confirm on the rest of the stuff, but that's definitely not a good start to have all that corrosion on those fusible links right there. All right, so now while we have fuses ordered, we can go and check a few other things on the list. The horn, the cable is just here. We need to actually get a horn for it and get it fitted. Now, there's also some other issues. There's a pipe, and that is the wastegate pipe for the secondary turbo. Now, this is twin turbo, and they both work simultaneously, but the second turbo does not have the wastegate plumbed in. Every time you go to start the car, it's automatically on full boost pressure for some reason. The gauge is reading full boost, even at idle, but we've got to have to take a closer look at that one as well. Also, we have our AC down in here, and our AC isn't coming on. I think now is the best thing to jack up the vehicle so we can have a look from underneath as the compressor's below, see if there's any wiring that's not connected or something as simple as that, and then we can go ahead and continue on from there in fixing this car. Let's go get the jacks. Fuck. We're too low. Can't even get a jack in there. All right, next plan. Put some wooden blocks out, so hopefully I can just drive up onto those and we'll be able to get the jack up underneath under. Now, because this car's so low, I can't even get any stands under here. So it's probably not the best to be climbing around underneath the car at this stage. Might have to get a bigger jack. Instead of worrying about anything at the front for the moment, until we get those relays, and then we can go around and try and sort out, and hopefully that clears some of the other issues we have inside the vehicle. Then what we did is we went around to the back and jacked up the rear of the vehicle as there's a lot more room under the back here. And then also we were able to put stands. Now, a few of the concerns were that the diff bushers were buggered, and sure enough, this one's got a massive crack along the bottom of it. The other one doesn't look too bad, but while you're doing one, you may as well do them both at the same time. Next, we made a quick trip to the parts store to grab the remaining fuses for the engine bay. Back at the car, it was simply a matter of swapping them all over. All the engine bay fuses replaced, I moved over to the driver's door. Since the window still wasn't working, it was time to pull the trim off and inspect the window switch assembly. It didn't take long to spot the problem. The circuit board had overheated and the solder had actually melted, which explained why the switch had failed. That meant that this switch assembly was needing to be replaced as well. To investigate the folding mirrors, I removed the speaker and its mounting plate so I could get access to the mirror wiring hidden inside the door. I started by checking the wiring with a multimeter to ensure that all the correct signals were reaching the mirror. Everything tested exactly as it should, which told me that the fault had to be inside the mirror itself, so I pulled it apart to take a closer look. This mirror is off. You can clearly see down inside the mirror here that it is not an electronic mirror. Now, if it was, it would have a motor in here from what I've read up, that the motor actually sits in this housing here, and this does not have that, which sort of makes you question, did he maybe buy a lemon, or did the guy screw him over and scammed him with this car? We have a few other things to check out, so let's take a look at what's next. The heater box was not working either, and we quickly did some tests on the module on the side of the stepper motor, and we were getting no signal whatsoever from this HVAC unit. So I removed the dash panels previously, and here is our unit. So all we have to do is just unplug it, and as you can see already, this thing is not looking good. As soon as I opened it up, the problem became obvious. Someone had previously attempted a bit of a Frankenstein wiring to bypass the failed diodes on the circuit board. It may have worked at one stage, but it certainly wasn't working anymore, so this would also need to be replaced. So as you could see from that HVAC unit, it was very much perished, and we are going to need a new one. I think someone's tried to fix it in the past and maybe had the same issue, and they've gone and trying to bypass the faulty relays in the back of the circuit board or the diodes, and they've run into this issue. They might have got it working for a bit, but obviously those diodes are burnt out now, so we will need to get a new one of those ordered. But luckily we can still test if the aircon is working manually. So let me show you how to do that. First, we'll start the car up. Make sure that the AC button is switched on. The next issue is the air conditioning. This relay controls the AC clutch, so by removing it and manually jumping the terminals, I could confirm whether the fault was in the relay or if it was something else in the system. As you can see with that little trick, we just bridged those two wires, which is the switch from the relay, and the AC is working. As far as I'm concerned, I think the whole system is working. I think we're just going to have the issue is going to be with this HVAC unit. I've sent a big list to my mate and he's going to have to go and sort it out. And then once we have the parts, we'll do that in part 2 because it's going to be a pretty big list of stuff to fix on this car. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you drive safe and I hope to see you in the next one. Fuck.